Hello, and welcome to an overview of Fuel50 for people managers. To begin, we're asking colleagues to start by reviewing their profile so they can access the profile, and hopefully you'll be doing this too and modeling the importance of your own development and being proactive about your own career experience. But I will kind of navigate through the platform from the lens of a people manager. So with that in mind, having colleagues either enter into their profile via this tile or this photo icon in the upper right-hand corner. They both go to the same place, making sure that their role is correct, name is correct. And then if you click on About Me, we're asking that they make sure that you're showing up as their people leader. We're also recommending that folks fill out this About Me section. And again, that you do this too, especially if you want to be a mentor, because colleagues will want to read more about you if they're looking for potential mentor matches. So filling out this information as well. We'll leave the top areas, personalized talents and feedback, for a little later in this demonstration, but making sure About Me is filled out, name and role are correct, and people manager is populated. From here, we'll start at the home page. So there's a lot of different ways to enter into the various features of this platform. You can either go via these links up at the top, any of these tiles, or just for simplicity, I'm going to use this bento box in the upper left-hand corner, which directs us to a drop-down menu. So after looking at their profile, the first place we're asking colleagues to go is into the Reflect area of the platform. The Reflect area consists of 4 exercises, each of which take about 10 minutes to complete. The purpose of completing these exercises is twofold. One, it will give you and your colleagues a lot of clarity and insight into what's most important to them in their role, what type of work is most naturally engaging, where are they in their role and career development, where are they in their skill development, and what are some gap areas where they would want to focus their development. All of that can be gained from completing these 4 exercises. Additionally, the more information you and your colleagues give to the system, the more it will customize the experience of the platform for you. Now, for each of the exercises, at any point, you or your colleagues can go in and change the visibility settings. Public means anyone at UNDP who's in the system would be able to see this information. People managers mean just you would see this information for your colleagues, or your direct people manager would see this information for you. If colleagues have mentors, we recommend that they give visibility to their mentor as well. And if they set the visibility settings to private, only they and HR would be able to see this information. So we're highly encouraging folks to, at minimum, set the visibility to people managers so that you're best positioned to help support them in a very customized way. Again, each exercise takes about 10 minutes to complete. I'm not going to go into the functionality in depth for these because I did that in the colleague recording, which you're welcome to listen to. Just know that they can be redone at any time. They can be, if someone gets busy, they can just exit out of the system, come back and pick up where they left off. Again, they can change the privacy settings whenever they want. And after they complete each exercise, they'll have a detailed report with a lot of information about their results that they can print, save as a PDF, share with whomever, and there's always some recommended take action down at the bottom. Going back, actually, I'll just close out here. I do want to show you the functionality of the talents exercise though, because this is so critical to the functionality of other areas of the platform. When colleagues come in here, we want to make sure that their current role is selected and that they assess their skill levels in the competencies, both technical competencies and UNDP core and cross-functional competencies that are mapped to their current role. So here there are 22. They want to read through the competency and then click on these different skill descriptors where you can see this description is changing. Pick the one that feels most applicable for them with respect to this competency. And then importantly, is this a competency they enjoy doing? Maybe they enjoy doing it and they would like to advance it. Or maybe it's something they would like to do less. If this is something they want to develop, Right from here, they can create a development goal action, click over to Mind Tools to find some internal resources, internal learning opportunities. They can click here and ask you to give them feedback so they can test or pressure test their self-assessment against your perception or that of a colleague. They can click here and find opportunities for short-term projects where they can better leverage this competency. Maybe they don't have exposure to it in their current role, but there's a cross-functional short-term project that would allow them to further develop this competency. They can also search out mentors within UNDP who are more experienced or more advanced in this competency. Once they complete this self-assessment for the competency, they'll use the forward and back arrows to navigate it through, and again, complete the same self-assessment for all 22 or however many are mapped to their current role. And again, once they complete that, they're going to get that report. Again, they can redo this at any time, but this really powers our journeys algorithm. So there are two options in the journeys section of the platform. My suggested moves is for folks to look at potential next opportunities. Career journeys is more for longer term planning, and I'll show you how both work. With my suggested moves, again, after they complete the reflect activities, it's very important they do that first. The system is going to recommend both lateral roles and next level roles, something that's like one or more levels above where they are currently in the organizational structure. They can look at the roles by, again, using these forward and back buttons. You'll see that there's different percentage matches. Some are higher than others, but for any of these roles, they can click on the role and read more about it. So they can see the job description, duties and responsibilities, required education, and importantly, they can see which competencies they already have if they wanted to potentially move into this role, and then which competencies they would want to focus on developing to make them more ready for this role. And if it is something that they are potentially serious about, potentially moving into, they can click on add to my target list, which is kind of like a favorites list, and they'll get an email when it opens up. They can also see what geographical regions have this role. And then they can see their career journey from where they are to where they want to go. Again, here they've got 21 of the competencies and only one really to focus on developing. And they can also add an action around a goal. They can create a goal, find a mentor, find an opportunity. So lots of different places and areas and opportunities and pathways for exploring not only where they want to go at UNDP, but how they want to get there in terms of formulating a development plan for themselves. So that's what that looks like. Now, another thing that they can do, I'm just going to go back to journeys. Actually, we're here. If you click on career journeys from the beginning, it's actually, I'm going to exit out because we're already in it. But if you click on career journeys from the beginning, again, we've got that next step. We also have future moves. So you'll come to this page, and if somebody's not sure where they want to go, they can click on a button here called Surprise Me, and the system will recommend 3 roles that are sort of within their realm within the organization currently, and then also what we call a wild card role, something maybe they didn't consider before. And the reason that we do this is, again, we want this area to be a place where people can explore, play around, and really think big and broadly about career opportunities for themselves at UNDP. So also here, they can click on any role that's been populated into the system to see where they may want to go over a long-term span of time. So here they're an administrative assistant G4. Let's just say that they want to go into this role. So let's see what this looks like. This is a long-term journey that would require 4 moves. And as you see, you can see the competencies that they have and those they would want to develop at each stop. in this career progression. And anywhere along the way, they can open this up and look at the competency gap analysis more fully. So lots of different areas and ways for them to play around and explore with different role possibilities at UNDP. My suggested moves, again, that's really focused on sort of next level opportunities, and then career journeys is more long-term planning. Also, if they click on opportunities, this is where they can look for short-term projects that may be of interest for them. It'll have the time period, it'll say if it's remote, or if not, where the location is. You can read a little description about it. And if they're interested in applying, they read through the criteria, answer the questions, and then send a request. Now, of course, they're always required to talk to their people manager about this first. So you will have visibility into this type of development a possibility for them. You can also, as a people manager, you can post gigs, right? So you can check the eligibility, and if you are eligible, you can post gigs as well. Similarly, colleagues can seek out mentors, and this is where it would be really important for you to fill out your profile, because what happens is you could click on Be a Mentor, read through the FAQ and resources, and then you could apply to be a mentor if you're eligible again as well. But for colleagues, they will be able to, first of all, the system will recommend mentors that they think might be a good fit for them. Again, they can click here and visit the person's profile in depth. They can read high level. If they're interested in potentially having a person mentor them, they click this contact button and send them an email asking to partner with them in a mentor relationship. And once they do have a mentor, the mentor will populate here. So that's what mentor looks like. Also, if they click on learning, again, the system is going to recommend internal learning possibilities that match what they've sort of decided they're interested in developing. So it's like a curated list of potential online courses, for example. And if they click on these tiles, again, it's going to connect right over to Mind Tools, then resources and specific UNDP resources. And they can look at all the courses available as well. Also, they can set goals. It's very easy to do this. Again, this is a user-friendly, employee-centric tool. There's no way to make a mistake. They can look at pre-made goals. They can click on Start, different types of goals they can create. They'll name the goal, and they can add in a description if they would like. They can make it time-bound, maybe ideally within 90 days. And they can add supporting development action if they would like. They'll just type that in and add it in. And then, they can determine, is this particular action formal education, social learning, or on-the-job experience, such as an opportunity. They can connect with what that looks like, when they want to complete the goal. Again, we'll just throw some dates in here. And then once they finish creating the goal, they can review the goal in their action plan here. And if they click on reports and look at their goals, they can see this is actually an area in which they can track the progress on completing the actions and ultimately completing the goal. They can print this report, they can download it as a PDF, and hopefully they're giving you as their people manager visibility into this so that you can help them track their progress as well. So that's what the goals functionality looks like. And then feedback as well. So they can request feedback, again, from the talents exercise, from areas of the journeys part of the platform, but also here, they can request feedback on up to 5 talents, jotting down a little note, and then send it to up to 5 different people. Again, maybe you as their people manager, maybe a cross-functional leader, maybe a couple of their colleagues, whatever they think would be helpful for them to get another perspective on their skill levels. They can do that here, ask for feedback, and when they receive it, they're going to see a grid that has all of the applicable talents where they assessed themselves, and then where you as the people leader rated them, and also colleagues, so they can see those areas where they're aligned with their self-perception and other people's perceptions, maybe where they've underrated themselves or if they've overrated themselves. And again, this is great information for a career conversation with you, in addition to potential development goals, their level of satisfaction and those things that are important to them. You can see there's a lot of rich insight that will really help you as a people leader best support your folks. There's also a resources section for them where they can look at worksheets and guides and do check-ins. We've really encouraged them to carve out some time to explore around here. There's a lot of rich support materials. And then in the FAQ section, they can see who to contact if they're having technical issues, if they have questions about mentoring, and a lot of other systems questions or just general information about Fuel50 and some of the opportunities available to them. Now, lastly, but importantly, if you are a people manager and you have team members reporting to you, you will have an area called People Manager View that individual contributors do not have. If you click here, you're going to have a dashboard of all the people reporting to you. And again, if they have their visibility settings set to People Manager, you'll be able to see a lot of helpful career insights. What you can do is click on this coach button, and you'll see some general career conversation starters based on the Grow coaching model to really help you start to frame up a meaningful career conversation for your folks. If you click on factors, you're going to see there's an area for the values exercise, talents, style, and agility. Now, when you click on these, you'll be able to see, again, if they have their privacy settings set to People Manager, you'll be able to see their information as well as some career conversation starters applicable to the values exercise. Also for talents, you can see the career conversations at the bottom, also for their style or work style preference, and agility factors. Now with talents, you can also give them feedback from here. So you can do it from the feedback section if they request it, or you can just give them feedback even if they haven't asked for it. And again, that grid will show up that will show those gap areas, another important area to discuss in a career conversation. Here, you can track notes from your career conversations so that when you have your next one, you can review what you last discussed. You can choose to email these notes to the colleague or your team member, or just keep them privately for your reference. Also here, you can see the goal completion, and there's some conversation starters around their goals. And here's a performance section with conversation starters as well, but we'll focus initially on general career conversation questions and also those related to the 4 reflect exercises. Now, if we go back to People Manager View, you also have resources specific to people managers that have a lot of coaching scenarios, some conversation guides, lots of information to help you specifically from your people manager perspective. And then also, if you're a mentor, you'll have a mentee section that is similar to where it shows up for your direct reports, but it'll just be for your mentees. And again, if they have their visibility settings set so that you as the mentor can see that information, you'll be able to see it in the same way you would for your direct reports. So lots of fun information here. Again, you can also access a report, one of those deep dive analyses for each of your folks. It'll show the output from the 4 exercises or whichever ones they've given you visibility into. So 3 of the 4, if you have visibility, that'll show up here. In addition to the reports that they receive, this will have some discussion starters and coaching tips. So it's specifically designed for you as a people manager. So lots of rich information here in the people manager section, the people manager view. Now, as I mentioned at the outset, we're going to revisit the employee profile, and as they work through the reflect activities or exercises, their career insights will populate here for the values, the style, and the agility exercises, and then here with their talents. And again, if they had asked for and received feedback, that grid would show up here as well. And then here's the information that allows them to give visibility into who they are, a little bit more about their role, to introduce themselves more widely to potential other hiring managers at UNDP, other colleagues, potential mentors, however that looks for them. So with that, I'm just going to reset us at the home page. I hope this was helpful for you and that you enjoyed this experience. And again, really encouraging you to leverage this information to create a customized, career support opportunity for each of your colleagues. Engaging in career conversations, they're so critical. And then threading that through with ongoing check-ins, maybe baking it into your regular one-on-ones, helping them track their goal completion, and really showing up in a supportive space for your folks in their career experience. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I hope you enjoy this journey.